Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This morning, this is the after Fajr, but the sun is not up yet. You see over there, it's trying to come up. It's very beautiful. This is the island of Langkawi in Malaysia, and I'm in the Tanjung beach. I decided to make my stories about my journey searching for the light, and I found Allah. I want to finish it. I want to end it. Why? Because my life is so complicated. There is so much to write. If I were to write a book, and I started it, a normal book maximum should be 80,000 words. I already have more than 120,000 words, and it's not even a third of what I wanted to write. And someone very interested to help me through this process. And another brother so interested in my process, he said, I will translate it into Arabic with no charge. But I feel like I write a book, it will take a lot of my time. And a lot of people are now not reading books. The amount of time that is going to take me to write, why not use that for worship of Allah? Why not use that to read the Quran and reflect on it? Which one is going to be more benefit? Well, the second one is more benefit to me. The first one is more benefit to other people that can actually benefit from my story. Something in there that would definitely benefit them, a lesson or many lessons. But since I'm not sure how many would read it, I decided to do them on podcasts and also videos. Okay, so I made podcasts and videos at the same time. Use the videos, use the sound, put it on the podcast. Each video also taken me a long time to do it, write it, edit it, put it up, post it. And I noticed actually it has a lot more reception than the podcast. And I feel it definitely has more reception than writing a book. So it seems like that was the way to go. But there is no way that I can give the details that are really beneficial to know. There's no way to do it because people just don't, they cannot sit and watch 1 hour of video. I try to make it short, 10, 20 minutes maximum. But then it really is a burden because I try to do it. Some of it I am out in nature. Some of them I do it with green screen in the house, put the green screen behind it. Some of them has sound problem. Although I've been doing video production, editing for many years, but I'm not an expert. So sometimes I have sound problem, and then I have to do many things to make things work. What you see at the end, it's simple. Sit down and watch something for 10-15 minutes about Raya's journey, but it takes a lot more than that to put it up. And this always in the back of my mind that, okay, by the end of the week, before the end of the week, I have to put up one more. I feel like I don't want to have this burden anymore. I want to finish telling you about my journey. I am not sure if I can here combine my journey, personal life, plus the Shia Sunni research. I'm not so sure if I can do it in this video. I'll just start and see where it will take me, inshallah. So the last video was about being in Iran and talking to the ulama and talking about the issue of Shifa'a, intercession, when most of the Shias believe that the Imams, they were all pretty much, they were all martyred, except they believe the Imam Mahdi, he disappeared actually and is alive. So given that they were all martyred, they're alive. They have a very high position with Allah. Until now, no problem. Yes, they're alive. Yes, they were martyred. Yes, they are with Allah. We know they have a high position. I have no problem with that. And saying that, asking them to intercede for us with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a subject of debate between the Shia and the Sunnis. Sunnis believe that in the day of judgment is when intercession is allowed. Shia says, according to many of the verses in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions to us many times that intercession is only possible bismillah, with the permission of Allah. Well, the way I look at it is, yes, it is possible that they can make intercession, because there is no place in the Quran that is mentioned that intercession is not possible except a day of judgment. So let's say they can make intercession. Then my question is, let's say I make a dua asking Imam Hussein to help me. You make a dua in Pakistan, one in somewhere else, one in the US. That means no matter where we are in the world, the Imams can hear us. All hearing is only the quality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No human being is all hearing. Why is it that we have surahs, ayahs in the Quran? Allah is asking the prophets, what did people respond after you left? They said, we don't know, Allah, only you know. Even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked Isa alayhi salam, did you tell people to worship you and your mother as gods? Isa alayhi salam says, when I was with you, you know what I said. I have no right to say anything other than what you have given me. When I was with you, you know what I said. When I left, you know better. So even he admits that he doesn't know what they're saying after he left, even though he has such a high position. So this is not the part that I argue about. Even that, okay, maybe somebody told me that the hearing of the other world is not the same as our hearing here, which is true. We hear through this body that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, through the brain that we have, we analyzing it. All of this is a temporary gift from Allah for us to hopefully pass our tests. But in the other world, the hearing, the time, and even the time, there's no such thing as time elapsing. Time element doesn't mean anything. Somebody is in Barzakh for a few 100,000 years or for one day. The time is not, they're not aware of the time. Oh, this 1,000 years, 100 years, 2 days. That is not any longer an issue. Same, inshallah, in Jannah. When we're in Jannah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us we live there forever. Again, this forever is not measured by our time. How the time is there, it's like it's beyond our comprehension. Hearing, same. Hearing, same. We don't have the same hearing then as we have now. Okay, I can also say, yeah, well, maybe a possibility that they can hear. Maybe it's a possibility that they can hear. But my problem is this, that when a person says, I made dua to Imam Reza and he answered me and my son was healed, and somebody says, I made dua to Imam Hussein because I had this problem and my son wasn't, or my daughter wasn't walking, and then she started walking. They see incredible miracles that after they made dua to one of the imams, their dua was answered, not realizing no one but Allah answers dua, no one. But because their dua was answered, this makes it more cemented in their mind. Yeah, they can answer the dua. But when I was in Iran, when I asked them, is it really Imam Hussein that answered your dua? Yeah, I did this. And was it really Imam Hussein that answered the dua? After 2 or 3 questions, they said, no, of course not. It's Allah that enabled this dua to be answered. So I know that in the heart of every Shia, they know that it is only Allah that answers dua. But when I was talking with the sister, she's a scholar, about this topic, even last week, she said, Sister Raya, there are a lot of ignorant people out there. They spread false news, false information. No one that knows Islam, knows Allah, knows the Imams would ever ascribe anything to them without the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And she definitely a believer that they can hear. They can make shifa. So this is basically, how much more can I dig into this? I've been digging into this for 20 years. And my own conclusion is that the Imams said anything that we have said that contradicts with the Quran, throw away what you heard ascribed to us. That means we didn't say it. We will never say anything that contradicts with the Quran. And from reading, I have read a lot of their du'as. They have the most incredible du'as that makes your hair stand up. That you cannot imagine a human being can use such wording, which is translated either in English or sometimes I am understanding the Arabic. It is so deep and it's so profound. Simply, I have not seen du'as by anyone other than the Prophet ﷺ himself that are so profound and they are so incredible. So with everything that I've read, the du'as, their supplication, I have not come across one du'a that the Imam asked his own father or grandfather or great-grandfather, which is the Prophet himself. There's a book called Sahifa Sajjadiyah. This is by Imam Zain al-Abidin or Imam Ali ibn Hussein, Ali the son of Hussein, whose father got martyred, and he was witnessing the martyrdom of his own father. There's a book, fairly thick. It is all du'as. These du'as are so incredible that I feel sorry for Ahl Sunnah to miss such du'as because they're afraid if they read the du'a, they're going to say, oh, these are Shia. My gimbal, I think, lost the battery. No, it's okay. So anyway, subhanallah. So in this dua, the book of Sahifa Sajjadiyah, I read it. I have read it for years. I have zillion marks on it, stickers on it. I wanted to write a book just about this, that the Imam, the pure Tawheed that comes out of his du'as are incredible. Never did I find in one place that he made dua to his father, which is Imam Hussein, is such a, his youth of Jannah, or his great grandfather. He was always under persecution with Yazid time, the tyrant who killed his father. He was living at the time of Yazid. And then after Yazid went to hell after 3 years. Then his son. So he was under watch, under persecution. He always asked Allah for protection. I always ask Allah, one of his du'as, Allah, don't let me ask anyone but you for my protection, for my needs. Well, this is supposed to be one of the most authentic books after the Quran for the Shias. So where do I go from this? I haven't seen any imams that have made dua to their fathers or forefathers, the Prophet himself. So my conclusion is this. I am ever, never, always, I'm always asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for any needs that I have. I respect the imams. I respect their writings, their life history, their teachings. And I have many books available to me in Farsi and in English about their teachings. There's a book called Nahj al-Balagha, which is ascribed to Imam Ali. Some of his khutbahs are there. Some of the things that he had said about creation, the heavens and the earth, and some of the things that were not known to human being. It's in that chapter. That's the first sermon. And he has complained about the situation with Khilafah, how the Khilafah was taken from him. And several of his sermons deals with that. And then there's a part about words of wisdom. The words of wisdom that it's stated, ascribed to him, they are so profound that really you cannot see it today, such words. Incredible, this man, the wisdom of this man. Prophet said, I am the Madinatul Ilm, and Ali is its door. I'm the city of knowledge, and Ali is its door. There's so many things ascribed to this man I respect a lot. But of course, there's so much talk about Imam Ali and very little about the leader of Ali, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I have not changed my stance from the day I started my research up until today, 20 years later. I only reach out to Allah, only ask Allah, only depend on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, only fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All my hopes, fears, needs are towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and no human being. That's it. That is it. Now, I have books. I have tafsirs, volumes of tafsir, Shia tafsir. I have books that I have for these years. I have marked. Some of them is supporting the position of the imams. Some of them is not. Some of them, like the opposition, is saying this. I have marked all these books, tafsir books and everything. Now at the age of 74, I don't have the strength anymore. I don't have the strength anymore to carry more of this. So I'm going to stop the situation with the Shia Sunni, and I just stated my position with it. But if you are listening to this, please do not be the one that would go out and spread hatred and possibly falsehood towards your brother, sisters, Shia. Because as I mentioned to you, the ignorance is the biggest problem. They must be educated properly, with care, with love, with attention. We cannot there's plenty of hatred between the two sects that they have laid upon each other. It hasn't done anything. It has not brought the Shia to Sunnah, Sunnah to Shia. This way doesn't work. So what we need to do is use a different language. Get knowledgeable with the history. What happened with the Shia? What happened with the history? And then with that history, then with that knowledge, reach out to somebody who's dancing and exercising. Yeah, so subhanallah. Somebody walking and reading the Quran, listening to the Quran, and somebody's walking and dancing with music. This is our world today. Anyway, this is how I want to end this. I want to end this. In fact, I don't know what to do with all these books now. I don't know what to do with all these books now. I have tons of books. I don't want to be burdened anymore with this research. I'm done. I'm clear. I'm the same place as I was 20 years ago, but my position has solidified even more because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continuously opened my eyes, guided me, and I always ask Allah, don't let me be misguided. Don't let me be misguided. I've come a long ways to find you. Don't let me be misguided. And He definitely has answered my dua. So I will end this at this time. More is about the Shia Sunni, and I will make another video, the finalization of what I want to say about my family, my life, the marriage, things that happened. That would be hopefully not a very long one, and I will tell you about that, inshallah. Thank you for being patient to listen to me, watch me all this time. And I'm only asking you for one thing. Please make dua for me. Make dua for me. I have come a very long journey to come to Allah, to get to know Him. I'm hanging on to Him with like my life depends on it, because it does. My life does depend on Him and His guidance. Please make dua, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep His guidance on me, protection on me, and also guide my children who have gone another way. Thank you very much. I love you for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.